The Panama Papers have made international headlines, sending shockwaves across countries. Newsfirst reports.
A huge leak of documents has rocked the financial world, revealing how some among the rich and powerful use tax havens to hide their wealth. With data still being leaked, Newsfirst last evening reported on 3 Sri Lankan companies which are on the list, according to an interactive map put out by the Irish Times, quoting International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, or ICIJ. The files leaked from a Panamanian law firm called Mosaic Fonseca contain 40 years of data and include information on more than 210,000 companies in 21 offshore jurisdictions from Panama to Hong Kong. Tonight we delve deeper into this controversy. In a letter to law enforcement authorities, former chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce, Chandra Jayaratne, had said that it is essential that the response of the state of Sri Lanka to the Panama paper be not restricted to only obtaining the details of the 3 entities listed under the Sri Lankan country profile. The former chairman of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce emphasizes that it is essential that the Sri Lankan state must get the following law enforcement authorities to immediately take collective strategic action steps to pool their resources and available critical investigation data, based information and inquiry findings. The letter puts forth a number of recommendations which include A. To prepare a complete list of all entities to have surfaced as having engaged or likely to have engaged in serious financial crimes, money laundering, tax and exchange control avoidance. B. To include companies or trusts and other documentary or proxy holdings, including entities with investments placed overseas via beneficial ownership and investments placed in orbit using special purpose vehicles and bearer bonds. C. The list of entities to be compiled above to include entities registered overseas, especially in Netherlands, British Virgin Islands, Bahamas, Dubai, Seychelles, Singapore, Vietnam and Laos. The letter concludes by saying that this comprehensive list must be used to validate against the entire list of entities in the Panama Papers in determining the potential Sri Lankan exposure within the leaked Panama Papers.
For over a year, the Front Against Corruption had reiterated very clearly that monies which were accumulated through fraudulent means are being hidden away as undeclared assets around the world. These incidents took the form of 512 complaints during the period of time. It's unfortunate that legal action is yet to be taken into the incidents which were probed.
But as from my point of view, I would basically no sooner get confirmation from them, we would basically get this into the bank, looking into the matter. They have been any case looking into the matter because we have been eternally vigilant on such things, and certainly we'll be looking at and to ensure that no also that is normally ensure that anything and everything is opened up, because this is not what we want. What we want is open system, and we are giving that to Sri Lanka. So such things coming out, but it will certainly expose the past, and many will be very unnerving.
The Exchange Control Department is tight-lipped on the subject, while our attempts to contact the Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka to get a reaction over the recent expose proved futile. However, the revelations of the Panama Papers has sent shockwaves in governments across the world. Iceland's Prime Minister was among the main leaders on the spotlight.
Þú ert að spyrja mig hluti sem ég ekki einu sem búin að kynna mér. Þú plata mig í viðtal og... Þú seldi þinn hluti félaginu fyrir $1. Nei. Þú ert að spyrja mig einhverju tóma vitleysu. Þú plata mig í viðtal og fölskum fórsetum. Ég undirskiptin. Já. Já, ég meina... But with all respect, Mr. Prime Minister, it must be okay to ask those questions. Allt gefið til skattfrútt. Þannig að þið verður að gera eitthvað tortryggilegt sem að ekki tortryggilegt. Vita félagina í Indifens að þú hafðir áttu aflandsfélag sem... Hvaða atriði eftir hann að búa til?
Several days later, the interview was telecast. The Prime Minister resigned from his portfolio following mass-scale protests in Iceland and public outcry, which were triggered by the revelations made by the Panama Papers. The late father of British Prime Minister David Cameron and the children of Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif have also been connected to the Panama Papers. In London, the British Prime Minister David Cameron evaded questions about his father's offshore investment funds.
No shares. I have a salary as Prime Minister and I have some savings which I get some interest from, and I have a house which we used to live in, which we now let out while we're living in Downing Street, and that's all I have.
Meanwhile, the Guardian newspaper revealed that the public officials from around the world named as shareholders of offshore companies with London properties. Family of former Sudanese President Ahmed al-Migrani owns property in Paddington. Former Iraqi Prime Minister Ayad Alawi owns £2.8 million house and a building. Daughter of Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif has been named as the beneficial owner of a flat in Park Lane.